the main essence of the interview will need to be encompassed in your report or in your article. There will be no subjective opinion involved in this kind of writing, in this Q&A style of writing. You need to have a very strong opening line so that your audience is immediately engaged. So you will be writing an article regarding the effect of the pandemic on film industry. Hello everyone and welcome to a new session of your journalistic journey. I am Zubin Paul, your journalism faculty from Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Today we are coming to the final part, the part 3 of our Art of Interview session series, and it's going to be a very interesting session because till now we have dealt with what to do at the interview, during the interview, after the interview. This is what was done in the previous session, and in today's session we are going to be dealing with how to write your interview stories. So let's jump directly into it. It's going to be a short and sweet session. Interview writing can take many forms. Of course, it can take many forms. That form might be determined in advance by your editor, or you may be left to choose your own based on your specific writing style, point of view, and set of writing skills. Yes, an interview story. When you talk about an interview story, the main essence of the interview will need to be encompassed in your report or in your article, but the style of it may be predetermined by your editor. Editor means your boss maybe, or you can also predetermine it in your mind, saying that no, this is how I want to take my interview, this is how I want to present my interview, and that honestly can help you formulate much more better and easier. That can help you formulate better questions and use that kind of an interview space much more effective because you are clear with the way you want to present the interview. Some people prefer to write a standard question answer type of article in which the body of your essay or article is simply the text of your question and your subject's answers. Very simple. You will have one type is the Q and A style, wherein you will just have question, and then there'll be there'll be this question, and then there'll be this huge section of the answer by the interviewee. That is a very standard, very simple way of writing it, and that comes in handy when you want to exactly paraphrase what the interviewee has said. There is going to be no subjective opinion of yours from your end. This usually comes into play when you want to show a very objective kind of a reporting in terms of the interview story. There will be no subjective opinion involved in this kind of writing, in this Q&A style of writing. Others prefer a narrative format in which the main points of your subject's answers are described in the third person. Try to understand narrative format in the sense you treat the interview as a conversation, as a happening, as an event. I'm not talking about the news event kind of thing. Just treat it as a feature story. That is all. A narrative format which has an entry, which has a body, which has a tail, so that it seems a bit more interesting. This narrative style is what you usually see in the supplement newspapers with your actual big jacketed newspapers. This kind of style is majorly used in the feature style of writing, wherein the answers of the interviewee are described in the third person. It's very important so that it gives a fun and multi-dimensional look at the content of that interview. Certain writers prefer a hybrid of the narrative and the Q&A format. That is totally up to them. There is no perfect set way of writing an interview story. All we can do is try to come up with creative ways to put forward the interview stories. At the standard Q&A is used, and the narrative format is used, and a hybrid is also used. Regardless of your article format, you should make sure that the beginning of your piece is particularly strong so that your reader is immediately engaged. Again, remember, as we have mentioned before, this is a news kind of article wherein your audience will be looking to be engaged by your writing. That is why you need to again make it very, very strong in terms of your opening line. That may mean reordering your interview so that the most compelling answer comes first. It's up to you totally, because now it's done and dusted. The interviewee has given their answers to your specific questions. Of course, you don't have the right to manipulate their answers, but yes, you can reorder the question answer in a way wherein you can get the attention of the audience. Maybe there is a question to which an interesting answer has been given somewhere in the end of the interview. You can try to put that question on top. Open with that answer. Put that statement in inverted commas. Put that statement in inverted commas and try to get the attention of the audience. And then people will be like, oh, what is this? Let us read on. Then you can go on with your normal order of questions. So that is again a trick to writing very good interview stories. You need to have a very strong opening line so that your audience is immediately engaged. Your interview thus can be presented as either a direct Q&A style of writing, as I have mentioned, or a feature style writing. Feature style writing, again, I will just explain both of them. The Q&A style is wherein you directly write the question which you have asked and the answer of the interviewee. That is all. There is no adding of opinions. There is nothing else. It is just a direct question answer kind of writing. But in your feature style writing, which you find usually in the supplement newspapers along with your main newspaper, the feature style writing has a freedom to the style of presentation. Sometimes people pick up the main essence of the interview in terms of what has been discussed about, and then they weave a nice story around it. They put in their points. The journalist, the feature article writer, puts in forward their points and tries to support it with the statements made by the interviewee. This is a classic way of writing a feature article, especially if you are writing it based on a particular issue. For example, if you are interviewing a film personality with regard to the 50% occupancy in theaters and how the COVID has hit film industry so badly, etc., etc., the interview may be done with the biggest star of the country, but your main focus will be how the pandemic has affected the film industry. So you will be writing an article regarding the effect of the pandemic on film industry while integrating the statements or the answers from the interview with the film personality. That is a classic way of supporting your own statements with someone credible who is from the industry. Always a person from the industry is much more credible than a journalist trying to do research and put forward his or her statements, And it is always best as a journalist to try to get the essential facts or the essential information from the mouth of the interviewee himself or herself. It becomes much more credible and authentic, and that is your job as a journalist to try to extract that kind of information of the opinions of the interviewee. So that can be woven into this feature style writing, and it can prove to be a very beautiful piece of entertaining writing and informative writing, especially if you get good at it. And this is where a lot of people are finding their solace and their niche in feature writing. And especially if you get more deeper into feature writing, you can interview people and write an interview based feature article. So that will, suffice your entire feature writing. Now I have a few examples to show you, one each of both of them. Look at this article and you can just notice as soon as you see the article that this is a definite question answer style of writing the interview. There is the question, then there is the answer. There is this question and then there is the answer. Here is again the question and here is the answer. And always the question will be directed to the interviewee. The answer will always be as if the interviewee is saying. It will be paraphrased. Always keep that in mind. Now the next one, look at this article. The moment you see it, it doesn't look very formal, does it? That is the whole essence. It is a feature style of writing your article. This person has been interviewed and the crux of his entire interview has been woven into the article. Now this is how it definitely looks. One big adventure is the title. That means it is a personality interview itself. There are a few statements made by him here and here. It's a very different way of working for me, and more than anything else, every day I learn a new thing for two about how to be more generous and inclusive. This is a direct statement that has been put from there, but the essence of this interview will be to provide inspiration to the readers. So that will be the motive of this whole interview story. Using him as an example, the article writer will try to make his or her own point. So these are the two kinds of interview stories that we can see on a regular basis, even in Indian newspapers, any kind of newspapers. The feature style and the Q&A style are the most commonly used formats, and that does it for your styles of writing interview stories. I hope you have gained a lot of knowledge and this has been an enlightening session for you, these 3-part series of the art of interview. I just hope that you will practice this, keep practicing this, keep watching these sessions, make notes on all of this, because it's going to be very important and very useful for you in your future. This is Zubin sir signing off. Until the next session, I will see you soon. Stay safe and take care. Thank you.